All right, so now we switch to another matter entirely. The question concerning southern Kaduna, the efforts that are in place, the need to have peace reign, if not forever, in that area. We do have Reverend Dr. Yakubu Pam, who is the Executive Secretary of the Nigeria Christian Pilgrims Commission, joining us from Abuja. Good morning, and thank you for joining us today. Well, we understand that you are playing some sort of mediation role in that area to ensure that peace reigns. So tell us about that. What is going on at the moment with your role now?
Well, thank you, my dear brother, and I greet everybody, our viewers. Just like you have said, I'm playing the role of mediation at the southern Kaduna. Every good, loving Nigeria will not sit down and watch what is happening at southern Kaduna. And as a religious leader and also a peace lover, I took a trip and I met with the governor of Kaduna, and I told him I feel the people of southern Kaduna need to have a space to discuss these issues so that they will point out the roadmap for peace through dialogue. And he accepted, and I went into the mediation. The first step is to plead with the pressure groups that they should stop the killing. The killing were the major issues, because without stopping the killing, we will not have an environment to sit down as a family and discuss. So there are two factors that are there. The first is the internal issues and the bitterness among themselves there in southern Kaduna. And the second one is the bandits who comes from outside and make a provoking killing. They kill to provoke the people into various thoughts in their hearts. Just to think that, well, it is our enemies again, our neighbors here who have done it, and pick up again the killings among themselves. So we have gone around to plead with the various groups, tell them, please, we need to stop the killings. And there's an agreement. They said, yes, we need to stop the killing.
Now, what is happening?
And by the special grace of God.
Sorry, well, what will happen to that train of thought when that happens? Because that could happen. They could agree amongst themselves to be peaceful, and then an external scenario occurs, and then it could be misconstrued. So what kind of consideration are you giving to that in case it happens?
Well, in searching for peace, it takes a longer time. We know that all avenues will be used. What we understand is that a lot of information is on ground. A lot of revelations are still unveiling. And we must use different methods in getting information. And I think our intelligence body need to rise up to the occasion. We have some local intelligence that are very, very useful, that we need to lose the local people to get a lot of information. Some of them are scared. If they begin to tell you some of the roots of those people who are coming to do such things, you need to promise them their safety. So that is on one other side. And we are doing our best over there. By the special grace of God, the killings are already getting low. I don't think it's coming up as it was before. But we are believing God that it will be sustained this way, because the dialogue is going to come up by next week, possibly on the 8th, which is Tuesday. And all the aggrieved party, everybody have agreed to be there. The elders, the younger ones, and women, and religious leaders and traditional rulers. They will be sitting down to discuss issues generated by themselves, not from anybody outside. We will be there only to moderate to make sure that we bring out the facts and discuss them and see whether we can have agreement on some of them. And I know that some of them it's hardly for both parties to agree, but we'll be able to see how we can put them together.
Right. Now, speaking of this dialogue that is meant to take place in the coming days, you've mentioned, warring communities or pressure groups within communities, that they will be represented. But, another factor you mentioned bandits, third parties. And the question is, will there be dialogue with them also?
No, we know that the Southern Kaduna issue has been an issue that has been a long time issue, and certain things need to be discussed. Certain things need to be put right among themselves. But the bandits is what we are also talking to our security agencies, and there are local intelligence that gives information. And I believe that those information are very useful. Those information will be used to trace some of them. And I believe that some of them are already sensing that these informations are already on the table of some of the agencies of the security to make sure that they deal with them. But this is not what the people will be discussing. But they will be discussing various issues that have torn them apart, various issues that have brought a line of division, various issues that, before these bandits come into place, most of the time they use the people, the locals. No visitor just come out and succeed without using one or two people. And if all of these are put together, and we're able to have that synergy of understanding, I don't think the bandits will also have the clear roadmap to be able to go into such an environment and do what they will do. But all of this is not going to happen by magic, maybe overnight. No. In search for peace, there must be a period to endure and to face. Sometimes you're going forward, they bring you backwards more.
Yeah,
The
search for this peace, the search for this peace has taken quite some time. We've had lots of dialogues, peace pacts. I think the recent one was between the Atiap, Hausa and Fulani communities, and there was a peace pact that was signed, a communique issued right after that. And, well, it seems to be holding up so far. And I'm wondering, so how will this coming dialogue, how will it fit into that? Is this different from that, or is this an update to that? And what is different about this, really?
Well, this is in search for peace. All hands are needed, and efforts from different parts are all needed. The most important thing is to harmonize them all. We just like I said, we have a holistic approach to this. We started with the approach that I call top-bottom, meeting the chief executive, the governor, and also have an agreement, a mutual agreement, which he agreed and said, yes, go into this, and whatever the people agreed, I will implement it. And after we finished that from the governor, we now went to every pressure group, every group that means a lot to Southern Kaduna. We went to the elders, Sokapo, the Christian Association of Nigeria, the JNI, the traditional rulers, the youth, the women, and the religious leaders on both sides, the Mediating Allah, and a lot has been done in the past few weeks to make sure that we meet all of this group, because we must get a consensus that, yes, let's meet. And all of the group have agreed that, yes, let's meet together. And representatives are going to be there. We're expecting to have between 120 to 150 people. And it's going to be a 3 days program. And more of it is discussions. They will get into the room to discuss a lot. And the issues will be iron one after another. It's not just about photo show, writing agreement to say, yes, we have agreed to live in peace, but those issues must be put into discussions that at the end of the day will be taken to the governor. Those ones that the governor the chief executive needs to execute should be shown. Those roles that need to be executed by the traditional rulers, they will all be there. Those roles that need to be taken by the religious leaders, it needs to be there. So each party will know their role in the conclusions of the discussions of the people. So, but we appreciate all other peace negotiations that have been there. This is just to harmonize all and move together. Just like I said, you can't look down on any other effort of peace when it comes in terms of peace. All of it has to be part and parcel so that we all move together.
Well, it will be very interesting to see how all those issues are brought out, Reverend, because you would remember in 2015 March, there was that meeting where the Kafanchan Peace Declaration was made, and it was as a result of the issues that had been coming up between the farmers and the grazers. There were a lot of commitments made, a lot of issues raised, and a lot of responsibilities given to the federal government and the state government in Kaduna. How far-reaching those have been, of course, we are seeing the results with this resurgence again. So it'll be interesting to see how those issues are brought up. But then after that one, there is this one. It would seem then that there are underlying issues that have not been raised. Consequently, the unrest or the insecurity issues change their natures from time to time. How do we ensure that this peace move that you are making, in addition to the House of Kaduna family that the governor also set up, how do we ensure that this nails the coffin on insecurity in southern Kaduna?
Well, like I said, all hands are needed on deck. Both the past and the present, we will all put things together. The most important thing when we take different approaches, and then we also take different steps. The steps we are taking is not just to conclude it in the discussion. When we finish the discussion, there are also steps to move forward. The steps to move forward is to push these responsibilities that are meant for different authorities to handle, whether executive, whether traditional rulers, whether religious leaders and all the rest. We will make sure we supervise. We will make sure that we take it to the end. While we are doing that, another steps that we're going to take again is to make sure that we start building relationship of communication. We have done this in Plateau State, where we sit down with the farmers and the headers together for 3 days, and we start building relationship. Each of them, they don't used to communicate before. They start communicating on issues. When there are fresh things coming up, they communicate among themselves. The most important thing in this kind of thing is communication. If there is a communication, you'll be able to know that, okay, your other colleague would tell you that, look, another thing has happened, or our youth in our own part have done this. We have talked with them, or your youth have come to our place and did this. So this communication synergy has to be going on among them. Well, the executive are also playing their role in making sure what the people have agreed, they are implementing it. And also the traditional rulers are also playing their role in making sure that what the people have agreed, they are implementing it. And the people themselves are working on this communication. Because communication after the dialogue is very key, is key.
Exactly. However, most of the time, it's one thing for people to sign these documents. You said 120 or thereabout people are being expected at that meeting. Getting that information, getting that agreement to percolate down to those who will not be at that meeting and who still have very strong connection to those things that are historical might be tough. Is that also being factored in to ensure that this doesn't recur?
Yeah, we believe that the people coming are people of influence over the people. For instance, we have elders who have influence over their people. The day I went to plead with the elders of Southern Kaduna, and for instance, General Lokot Zamani, who came out and said, the killings must stop. And when he said it, it settles a lot. We must stop the killing so that we have an environment to discuss. So if we have such people in such a discussion, when they go back home, they are still in control of a lot of people. The same thing, the Mediating Allah have to also be in control. Not only the Mediating Allah, the Ardos, because I respect the traditional authorities of each of our culture. They have control over their people. And the youth too, which are going to be part of the discussions, they should have control over their own. So we expect that each person or each group will still continue to control their people even after the dialogue. But as I said, we are not doing a magic, so that no one expect a magic. Sometimes when we're in search of peace,
right,
the devil also comes with his own, and something could still happen.
Well, on a final note, if I can just squeeze this in, pardon me. Now, Amnesty International reports that about 1,126 people have been killed from January to June as a result of, the attacks in the region. And I recall the Vice President saying prosecution is key. So how are you factoring that into this peace process, this dialogue? Will there also be prosecution?
Yes, it has to be. Those are some of the recommendations. What we don't want to say from the outside as mediators is we don't want to raise the issues ourselves. We want the people to raise the issues. We want the people to say, yes, this is the problem here, this is the problem. And of course, that is going to be the pathway to help this issue of crisis to be nailed for real. If we do not put justice into it, whoever have done whatever, it has to be held accountable. Even it means going to jail, go to jail. All of those has to be part of it. But like I said, we are not the one to raise issues. They are going into an inner discussion with themselves. We only moderate and bring out the issues, and definitely that will be in the forefront of the discussions.
All right then, Reverend Dr. Yakubu, thank you very much indeed, and we wish you all the best with your task.
Thank you.